Hi guys, so Kate Forbes from the SNP attacked Lisa Nandy from the Labour Party during BBC Question Time, and the issue of course was a second referendum in Scotland. Now, the Labour Party's position for me is puzzling. I understand that they're a pro-union party, but they should be willing to support a second referendum. And I've said before, supporting a second referendum does not mean that you support independence. If you believe the union is strong, if you believe the union can withstand a second referendum, then you wouldn't have a problem with a second referendum. But it seems that the Labour Party, Lisa Nandy, and recently Andy Burnham have jumped on board Boris Johnson's bus, the idea that we need to defend the union by stopping a second referendum, denying the Scottish people a second referendum. Once again, you should be campaigning for a second referendum. You should be supporting a second referendum and then defending the union, making the argument that it's better for Scotland to stay within the union. But let's hear what Kate Forbes had to say.
Is that I think Lisa Nandy has just explained very well precisely why the Labour Party are third in the Scottish Parliament and why they got their worst vote share, because it is a complete lack of respect for the voters in Scotland. And look, I don't expect everybody on the panel to agree with me on independence. That's clear. I don't expect everyone in Scotland to agree with me, or even in the Question Time audience to agree with me. But that is precisely why that question needs to go back to the people. Now, we are not arguing that that should be next week, next month. We are arguing that once the COVID crisis is past, but in time to equip the Parliament with the powers that we need to shape our future, there should be a referendum. Now, we live in parliamentary democracies. There can be no disputing the emphatic victory last week. And the only people who are saying no to another referendum are the people who are scared of the outcome. Debate the issues, debate the substance. Don't just keep saying no to the people of Scotland, because that means that this union has fundamentally changed from one based on consent, a voluntary union based on consent, to one that is only based on the force of law.
Why do we not say you shouldn't talk about homelessness because we're in the middle of a pandemic? You shouldn't talk about a UBI because we're in the middle of a pandemic. You shouldn't talk about Brexit because we're in the middle of a pandemic. Why are those arguments never presented? But when it comes to Scottish independence, no, you shouldn't be talking about Scottish independence because we're in the middle of a pandemic. Now, the SNP have said that they want to deal with the pandemic first and then eventually call a second referendum. What is the problem with that? But I have to go back to the previous point being the Labour Party should, in my opinion, be supporting a second referendum. Once again, a second referendum does not mean that you support independence. You support people's right to decide. What you do then is you support that, and then you present the argument for Scotland remaining part of the Union. Why is that so difficult? Why is that impossible for the Labour Party? I think people in Scotland would have more respect for the Labour Party if they actually stood on that position. But instead, they seem to be siding with Boris Johnson in attempting to deny the Scots a second referendum. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?